Free Rugby Games.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Seeing as apparently it's the end of the world tomorrow, you get a decidedly average intro today, and it doesn't matter because none of you will be alive to listen to it anyway. So, welcome back to Devil Worshipping for Dyslexics, a guide on how to sell your soul to Santa.
That sounds good.
Uh-huh.
I'm Peter Sutcliffe.
I'm Richard Ramirez.
I'm Myra Hindley.
I'm Myra Hindley.
And we've got our special guest today, Liam, who can also be an axe murderer. You be Ian Brady.
You get to fuck all over the couch
Again.
and talk about how you're going to murder children. Good times?
Anyone got any gaming related news?
None at all.
Good.
We never talk about gaming stuff.
Spent too much time talking about raping children instead.
Yeah.
Didn't have time to find anything.
It's good work. We've got some bits of gaming related news.
Why don't we make Liam start? He's the guest.
Well,
What do you want to talk
Working
about,
under the
Liam?
assumption that Liam's prepared.
Yeah, it just gives us time to find something, doesn't it?
I'll kick it off.
Go on.
then. That was my voice, I'm Liam.
Uncle Liam, I seem to have gotten a touch of athlete's foot, and I was wondering if you knew how I could get rid of it. Well, I assume it's athlete's foot. The foot in question is wearing an Adidas Messi 15.1, though there is a lot of blood. Man with a spare foot. Any advice?
Write it off.
Write it off. Uncle Liam, how much money do I have to spend online in FIFA buying card packs before I'm considered cool? Buy more money than sense.
50 quid.
50 quid, that's a good solid answer. Yeah. Uncle Liam, I was playing COD the other day and somebody called me a hang on, wait, I'll get me teeth in. I was playing COD the other day and somebody called me a cum-swilling faggot. I've heard everything you hear on the internet is true. How do I tell my girlfriend, gargle, I've a biggin?
Person who played Call of Duty shouldn't have a girlfriend. Should be killed.
Right. That's
Good answer.
Perfectly reasonable. Right, on with the show.
Dear Liam, Uncle Deirdre, after a great start.
Call of Duty is for first person shooters what Dead or Alive is for fighting games. It's just full of massive tits.
Nice, Alan. You can put that on a t-shirt.
That should be Call of Duty's tagline.
I'm really looking forward to sacking Hal and employing Liam.
Me too.
I hope you're ready to churn out fucking intros on demand. Here's one that you'll fucking love, right? Especially after yesterday. Star Wars Battlefront Open Beta begins on all platforms October 8th through 12th.
Yes.
Shit, yes.
I was going to
Yes.
bring that up. That's the only bit of gaming news. That's me done.
Yes.
Hijacked.
Yes. I was going to talk about this whole thing in the actual gaming community at the moment, right? And all these, again, I don't want to name drop because I hate doing that when we've got we've got 6 subscribers and 3 of them are us.
Yeah.
But
So 9
one's
minus
me.
us.
I'll Liam get in. Right. But
2 minus us.
But I watch all the big name ones as well. I have done for years, and there seems to be this general agreement, this consensus. There's a lot of games coming out with no campaign in them, just story mode, and everyone's really crying about this. And I actually don't see the problem. I think it's okay to release a game that's just online only. Again, the premise is it's an online shooter. You know what I mean? Because you look at even the Battlefields and stuff. The campaign's just been put on there because Jesus. You know what I mean? Because
There was
they
no
do
campaign on it.
On what? Battlefield? There's always been a campaign.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah, I was just
Star Wars.
but I'm saying Battlefront, Rainbow Siege, the new one, that hasn't got a campaign. No. The COD players are crying because on the Xbox 360 and the PS3 there's no campaign.
Just stop there.
Why the fuck it's even been released on the Xbox 360 and the PS3, I don't know.
But this is the thing though, it's like how marginalised is that fucking cross section of the fucking community anyway? People who are still playing on last gen and who give a fuck about the campaign. Surely that's 15 people
who are
max.
sat wearing
Do you know what I mean?
People who are sat wearing chinos that they bought from Oxfam playing on their older cousin's PS3 because his mum felt sorry for the poor cousin and gave his PlayStation 3 away because he bought himself a PS4. Them people.
Yeah.
Aye, they're
People
wankers.
cry on like it's something new. Warhawk for PS3 was online only. Didn't have a campaign.
There was a few online only ones. What was the one that was?
Mag.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah,
It was supposed to be the greatest online shooter ever made.
That wasn't.
played.
yeah. It was. Well, it got hacked to bits, didn't it? Immediately.
Got shut down, not long, well, a few years ago now. It was shit.
But
But my problem with it is I don't mind games being multiplayer only. I'll avoid them.
Exactly.
But should they be charged at like 50 quid a game?
Yeah, why not? If the same amount of work's gone into the game, and it's
It's not the same amount of work, is it? Because
Yeah,
a
of
normal
course it
game
is.
would have a story mode and a multiplayer.
Of course it
would
is.
have
If
two lots
it's,
on.
it could still be the same amount of work. You're using valuable disk space and you're using valuable programmers' time to make the online game better.
I'm guessing it's server maintenance. Because
Yeah.
once they've made that one payment, apart from like any add-ons or if you're going to throw money at it, then they're not going to make anything else.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, so I just think it's ridiculous. And people crying about it, it's like me like getting a copy, I don't know, what was that game? PS3. Our Ben went to buy Battlefield and he put it in the case by accident, bejeweled.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember that.
Right? So, Bejeweled, right? It's like me buying a copy of Bejeweled and then going back to the store and slamming it on the counter and totally kicking off and going, there's no violence in this. There's no sex in this. There's not a bloodbath. It's just jewels falling from the sky. Do you know what I mean? It's like, the idea would be, in the ridiculous example that I'm giving, if you don't like that sort of game, don't fucking buy it. And it's the same with this. People crying, oh, there's no campaign, there's no
All it
story
boils
mode.
down
If you
to-
want a campaign and story mode, go and buy a game with a good campaign and story mode in it.
The only reason people are crying is because they can't have it. If it was already bundled, like this is the thing. Look at all the like Call of Duty games and stuff like that. Like even the Battlefield ones to a degree, they're better, their story modes. But still, people don't buy it for the campaign. Do you know what I mean? It's just added on for when you're fucking bored or like the internet's down or some shit. Do you know what I mean?
See,
It's
I
like,
disagree. I buy them for the campaign. I never play multiplayer.
well, the vast majority of people who actually like the multiplayer don't buy it for the single
It's
bit
not that I
because
don't like the multiplayer, it's just I don't like people.
well, that's fair enough. But my point still stands.
Whatever your
People are
reasoning,
only
yeah.
crying about it because they don't have it. If they still had a shitty throwaway 5-hour fucking campaign, then like they wouldn't be. People would be going, "Oh, the campaign's fucking shit. It's only like 4 hours long." But because they don't have that, they're like, "Oh shit, there's no fucking campaign."
There's hell on, there's hell to pay. It's like, fucking shut up, man. You know, I think it's great. I think it's awesome. You know, I love the fact that there's been more dedication to the online side of it. Like, I'm kind of hoping it'll get to the point where some online shooters come out and they're not broke for the first 3 months.
I
That's
think
something
anything that discourages people from playing on last gen consoles is a good thing anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's like the current gen's been out over a year.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The best way to discourage it.
It's
It's
November,
two
isn't it?
Yeah, the best way to discourage it is just stop making fucking games for them. Do you know what I mean? Just stop it. If this is the only generation that's gone on this long. Yeah, when you go from one gen to another, normally in the past what's happened is any titles that were in progress, like in development at the time, got finished
Yeah.
and released.
But they don't then
that was
start
it.
new
Like,
titles
new
on them.
titles on it is like,
But the
I mean-
last gen's had an incredible lifespan anyway, was it? 8 years? 9
Yeah,
years? It's
8 years.
A long time for a life cycle for
Well,
like
if
a
you
gen.
if you think that people are still making games for it, then it hasn't finished, has it? Really?
I mean, the jump from the PlayStation to the PlayStation 2 wasn't that long, if I remember, was it?
no, it's about 5 years, 6.
Because that's when the first Xbox was introduced as well,
Yeah.
Mhm.
just before the PS2 came out.
Yeah, because the PS2 was head to head with the Xbox, wasn't it? It wasn't. The PlayStation 1 wasn't head to head with the Xbox. The PlayStation 1 was in its own right. And then you had like kind of the Xbox and the PlayStation 2.
And the Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Loved the Dreamcast.
It was awesome, awesome machine.
The thing I don't is it doesn't happen on any other platforms, just consoles. People seem to whine about it. Look at PC. You either upgrade your PC or you're fucking left behind.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, people don't make games that far backwards compatible.
Yeah, no, you don't get people fucking crying, going, "Oh well, why are they making games that my fucking shitty like 10-year-old PC can't run?"
Yeah, I'm
Do you know
running,
what I mean?
I'm running Windows DOS. So
Yeah,
You're
just
right,
accept
it is a console market thing.
Yeah.
You're right about that. It's I mean, we're console people, so I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's TV console people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I remember when I when I was a PC Master Race gamer, it was just like, you know what, the game doesn't work, it's time to buy a new graphics card, need a new processor. I didn't whinge about it.
Yeah, I just fucking
But the ex-wife did when she saw the cost of it. Like,
just buy within your console specs. That's the other thing. Like, oh, that's like I'm running a 4-year-old rig that won't run like fucking Crisis 3 on max graphics. I'll not buy it then. I'll get something else. I'll get Bejeweled.
So now we're hitting.
so you know the
So we're playing Naxxramas on 7.5 frames.
Yeah, it's not very.
you know
good,
the thing that pisses you off a lot lately.
You,
Well, apart from me,
Hal,
yes,
skinny jeans.
Me.
skinny jeans are the worst, man. But no,
What time you've got on, Liam?
My shrunken top man jeans.
They're nice.
I've never bought from them.
name
again.
drop for top man there.
They're
Give
not
us some money.
They're not skinny. They're petite.
They weren't petite when I bought them, bastards.
They're not skinny. They're a cultural African nod.
No, so last
Stop
gen's
pressing
game's
this.
getting re-released on this gen.
Yeah.
You know what the
It
next?
only pisses me off sometimes.
my
Other
pick
times I
would
think
be,
it's great.
You know what the next two are?
No.
Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls are getting redone.
Oh, why?
Oh man.
They don't need to be redone. They were both good games.
So wait, it's not so much redone. They're getting released on PS4.
Yeah.
Online or with a disc?
Disc apparently.
Online I'd forgive them, but releasing the disc again just is the point. If
Do
you loved
you-
it that much, you'd have kept your PS3.
But why did they
Dear Uncle
re-release
Liam.
them?
Oh, here we go.
Dear Uncle Liam,
I'm loving this.
I find myself turned on by a video game character. I love its flat 2D, but I can't stop touching myself over its big eyes. I also love its deep, meaningful rhymes. So Liam, why am I cracking one off to Parappa the Rapper? What's wrong with me?
It does play some sick beats, to be fair.
It does. Are they masturbation worthy?
To the right rhythm.
Perfectly reasonable answer. Have you ever thought about maybe going professional with your agony uncle skills? Are pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm doing alright so far.
Pretty good,
I'm about 3 for 3.
yeah. Yeah, you're doing all right.
I'm turning people's lives around. One question at a time.
That's right.
So are you looking for another question for Liam to answer? Or are we-
No, crack on.
Right. Right. So do you know good guy Phil Spencer?
Oh God! No, no.
You have to call him good guy Phil Spencer now, by the way.
Why?
Just because that's his thing, isn't he? He's always like, no, it's fine. PlayStation's
And
great.
PlayStation on you,
Nintendo's
lovely.
great.
Yeah. Oh, well done, PlayStation.
Apparently, he's gone on record as saying that he finds the console wars debate distasteful.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that because he's losing?
It's because
Apparently,
Do you know what I mean?
he's quoted as saying there, it becomes more about what piece of plastic you own than what games you're playing. It becomes more about somebody else failing than the
Can he
things
just
you
call
love
his own
succeeding.
console
A piece of plastic.
Yeah. And he says, I don't think that's a good place for our industry. The Xbox exec noted that not everyone is partaking in arguments, but nevertheless it is part of the gaming industry that he's actively interested in combating.
all I heard there was boo hoo hoo, boo hoo hoo.
More or less.
Stop comparing the consoles because ours isn't doing so well.
Ours is bigger than Sony's.
Oh, and also,
Can I just stop you there? This is our first win for Uncle Liam, right? You're on the phone. Who's this?
Oh yes, hello. Is that the Grumpy Gamers phone in?
It certainly is.
Oh, jolly good. Yeah, so I know you're doing this phone in about gamers and gamers' problems.
That's right.
I've got a bit of a problem.
Yeah, go on, young man.
Well, I don't want to give my real name because it's a bit concerned. So I'll give you my gamer tag. It's Warhammer Gestis the Third.
That's nice.
It's
Yes. Well, I'm like 40 years old. Yeah. I still live with my mum. And I'm quite concerned that gaming may be affecting my social life.
In what way?
Well, you see, I kind of really live in the basement on a steady diet of internet porn, Cheetos, and Red Bull.
sounds like the Diet of Champions.
Yeah, I'm not
Where's
seeing,
the problem here?
I'm not seeing a problem either yet.
Well, you see, the real problem is I play a lot of The Sims online.
That's a problem.
And
Right. Over to you, Uncle Liam. Any advice?
I think sex bots are only about 5 to 10 years away. I'll just wait it out.
Did you catch that, Hammer? Just wait.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. No, you broke up a bit there.
He told you to wait it out because sex bot's only about 5 years away.
Ah, right, okay. Well, so in that case, will I actually be able to, like, sort of interact sexually with my Sims when that comes along?
Well, we don't know, but you know it's a brave new world.
Well, I do kind of fantasise about the Sims. I have built my own Sims dungeon. And Andy actually quite features heavily in my Sims dungeon as a character.
I do. I'm flattered.
Andy does feature heavily. He is kind of the dungeon master with
Yes.
his leather man harness.
That sounds nice.
Task.
I'm flattered that I'm in there, mate.
Well,
With
I
Mr.
am
Hammer.
touching myself whilst talking to you, Andy. It is kind of a privilege to be able to talk to you in real life.
I'm quite disturbed, actually.
Well, before you go, is there anything you'd like me to say for you, young man?
I need to get the recording equipment ready. Just hang on a minute. Right. Okay, if you can say, "Oh, death fist, you big boy, touch me now, take me from behind, baby."
Oh, death fist, you big boy. Touch me now, take me from behind, baby.
Oh, Andy, you don't know what that does to me.
Thanks. Lovely to talk to you. Take care.
Thank you very
So yeah, that was Warhammer Death Fist. On the first official Grumpy Gamers phone in.
And I think you just done wonders for that lad there.
Yeah.
I think he'd be waiting for that sex bot with someone now.
That was a lot more disturbing than what he originally said he was going to say.
That's pretty good work. Dear Uncle Liam. So, like, there's this guy at the game store who's, like, so hot. But Hal's always like, he is way out of your league. And I'm like, no way. And Hal is like, girl, you need to check your privilege. And I'm like, you are so full of yourself. But Andy's like, sister, don't you listen to Hal. You're a Leo. And I'm like, right. And Andy's like, right. Well, then Cooper's like, maybe he's gay. And I'm like, are you crazy? Marty's all about the ladies. And Cooper's like, well, I've seen him dance. And I'm like, get out. And Cooper's like, way. And Hal's like, I bet he can't dance. And Andy's like, babe, Marty has moves. And I'm like, maybe he'll go to the prom with me. And Hal's like, I just don't want you to be disappointed. And I'm like, you're being negative. And Andy's like, I believe in you. And Cooper's like, I don't know. Should I ask Marty from CAX to the prom? From Brian Blessed.
There was a mention of a Leo there, which I'm assuming was meant as in an astronomy sense. So, yeah, you're a pagan. Fuck off.
That's fair enough. No,
Sorry, Brian.
No, Brian Blessed for you.
Sorry, Brian.
No Marty for you, Brian.
Marty from CEX escapes again.
By the skin of his teeth.
One day, Brian. One day.
Yeah, so anyway, had we finished saying what we had to say about the no campaign thing, or was that?
Pretty much. We'd moved on to good guy Phil Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
good guy,
And he
Phil
called his
Spencer.
own machine a bit of plastic.
Pretty much.
It's just a bit of plastic.
And basically his crap was like, oh, why, it's more about putting other people down than representing the things you love. So basically saying, why does everybody hate the Xbox? Why can't we just talk about the things we love?
Buy more.
Yeah, right. There is that element of it, right? I agree, but it's not. It's not really about that in a bigger picture, is it? It's about the whole overall big
Fanboy
picture
thing.
of no. It's not even just about that. It's about the whole overall repeated conduct of Microsoft over the last 2 years with this generation's console. And yeah, good guy Phil
I was
Spencer.
going to say, I hope you're not about to badmouth Phil Spencer.
Good guy Phil Spencer has done a lot better than his predecessor, admittedly. But it's all still, to me, I'm very cynical about it. It's just an exercise in good PR now.
Yeah.
And he's just been brought in because of how bad the situation was for Microsoft in the...
Still though, he must be doing an alright job to earn the prefix good guy on his name.
Yeah.
It's not many other
He's
people
not
like
that bad, man. I think he's
No, he's alright, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but
he's a gamer himself, and I think that's why he's working well at Microsoft. He knows what gamers want,
Is that right?
and that's just usually a woman.
Basically, I think
Dirty
if they'd had him
bastards.
from the beginning, it would have been a completely different story. But as it is, he's left to kind of just fucking pick up the the millions of pieces that was fucking Microsoft after the last guy.
After the
Oh,
fucking
man, after
Xbox
that-
One announcement.
Yeah.
That E3 thing. Oh, fuck me. So you want to borrow a game to your mate? It's all shit.
The thing that pissed me off the most, and it's like I'm not even like a Nintendo fanboy, but going to the Nintendo like exhibits and go like, why are you in here? Why don't you just go and play the Xbox in the booth over? Do you know what I mean? It's like fucking hell, that's proper.
You are a Nintendo fanboy.
Well, I was. I'm not
You
anymore.
still are.
You touch yourself to Toady.
Like if you're talking like SNES N64, then yeah, totally. But
You look at the screen every time he's on.
Mate, you still put
Who?
sticky marks on your
Tory.
GameCube.
GameCube was a fantastic console. It was after that that
What's
it all went
tremendous,
to
like?
shit. You can buy them on Amazon for 20 quid. Go and get one.
Or don't just go and get an Xbox while you're playing on the Nintendo.
Good point, aye. Shit. I was going to say thanks, Phil Spencer, but that's something he would never say.
No.
He would probably be like, Nintendo's really good, yeah, why don't you get a GameCube?
get both.
Yeah. Don't even buy an Xbox One, buy more GameCubes. Spread the love.
Put them together and make a super GameCube. A GameCube board, if you will.
Game Rhombus.
So going from good guy Phil Spencer, I'd like to go to bad guy Phil Fish.
Yes!
Wait,
For no other reason,
Dear
I just
Uncle
think we
Liam.
need to bash him.
Don't you mean our good friend Philippe Poisson?
dear Uncle Liam.
I'm back.
Dear Uncle Liam.
Dear Uncle Liam.
I have a problem that I was hoping you would help me with, and God knows why I'm asking advice from the patriarchy. No one likes me. People keep making fun of me. I don't know why. All I do is tell little white lies to benefit my agenda. No harm in that, right? I really, really want to just have some big manly man take me and do me in unspeakable
I
ways.
think I know what this is going to be.
But for some reason, men won't come near me. Please tell me how I can change this and get people to stop making fun of me, especially on these gaming podcasts. Yours femininely, Anita Sarkeesian.
Knew it.
I could have called it. Well,
Have you got any advice for our avid listener, Anita?
She's listened to all of our shows.
Because Michael tags her in them on Twitter. No, he really does.
So she's now fully aware of the fact that she's a 4-pinter.
Yeah. Any advice for Anita?
well, she's a 4-pinter, just hang around bars at closing time, I assume.
Yeah.
And then she'll
Are you,
get
saying
what
she's
she
a,
wants.
are you saying she's a 10 till 2 bird?
Yeah, because that's quite a significant drop from a 4-pinter. Do you know what I mean? Are you telling her to downgrade herself? Is that your advice?
Well, no, I mean, she has to go between 10 to 2 on weekdays, I assume, because no one's drinking that heavily on a night.
There is
Unless you're in
that.
a Weatherspoons.
Or Peterlee.
No, that could be the advice. isn't
Yeah,
it?
come to Peter Lane.
Come-
Go and have a drink in spoons in Peterlee. Is that your advice?
Anytime, day or night.
That's Liam's advice.
You'll hook up with everybody.
That's beautiful.
Like the
There is
dirty
actually people in
bullshitters.
Peterlee Weatherspoons that have had 4 pints by 9:30.
Well, there you go, Anita. Liam reckons you should get your backside to Peterlee, go for a pint and spoons, you'll get ravaged.
And you'll love it.
Of course you will.
Just like all women do.
Oh, tell you what.
You're
That-
getting your 20 cents back.
yeah.
Apart from those dirty thespians.
Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry, you actually said something properly, weren't you?
I can't remember.
Oh, you're on about Philippe Poisson.
Philippe Poisson.
Yeah, I just thought I'd bring him up so we could bash him a
He's a
bit.
legend. What's he done? What's he been up to?
No, I just like. I
Do
just
you know
thought
what
I'd
it
bring
is?
him up.
I've now got this like image in my head of like, do you know how you
Uh-oh.
like you've got your voice of reason and the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. I just now say Phil Spencer on one shoulder and Phil Fish on the other.
The Phil duality.
Yeah. Like Phil Spencer going, yeah, like really you should
Now,
totally.
if we're just bringing people up for the crack, feel free to crack on what you're doing. I'm going to Google Hot Ryu again.
Back
So-
with what for you?
Also worth a mention for Holly Valance's tits as well. What's she doing these days?
I don't know. What is she doing?
She's still waiting to work with that great producer.
Oh,
in
right.
that post she put up in 2014 on her official site.
Whilst we're getting everything we mention out the way, do you want to see it?
Tasty Activision dollars.
Thank you.
Nice.
No Man's Sky, why isn't it out yet? And what else?
Who's the guy?
We've already covered Anita.
The one in the wheelchair,
David Crane.
David
That's
Crane, Craney baby.
Oh, hang on. Things
There's a
are
new
moving on.
Pitfall coming out.
No, look. Hot Ryu, the first two pictures are actually of Street Fighter Ryu now.
Wow.
The internet never lies.
Bet you're good at now.
No, because the third picture's still her. Look.
Still the proper
Hooray.
Hot Ryu.
How are you?
And the fourth picture's her. And the fifth one's Street Fighter. My God, Street Fighter's killing off Hot Ryu.
We need to get up in arms about this. We need to start a thunderclap, bring back fucking proper Hot Ryu.
Can you remember a while back I told you I sent a letter to CD Projekt Red?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a reply.
It was really polite, wasn't it? But it was basically like,
Go fuck yourself. Yeah. But they sent a poem at the bottom of it as well.
Get in.
like if a basic gangster rapped at him to tell him to fuck off.
They were like, we answered your thing. And I was like, no, you fucking didn't, you lying cunt. But never mind. I didn't get anything free from them, these fucking shady bastards.
So apparently, back on gaming news, right? I didn't know this, but I'm assuming you probably did. The Last of Us 2 was in development.
Yeah.
But it's been prototyped and shelved to allow Naughty Dog to focus on Uncharted 4.
Yeah. And have you heard what the throughabouts for story ideas for it?
What, for the Last of Us 2?
Yeah.
No.
I had a story idea with Joel and Ellie and a story idea without them in the game as well. So if they develop it, I hope they do it without Joel.
Do you want to know a fun fact?
Go on.
Do you know how we were calling Phil Fish Philippe Poisson because we thought we were clever?
That's his real name?
Yeah.
That's why we were calling them Philip
No, I thought we were
Poisson.
doing it because we were being smarty pants.
No, that's why he goes by Phil Fish, because presumably it's easier than Philippe Poisson.
Now, I also now understand why I hate him. He's French Canadian.
Yeah. And he's got shit sideburns.
Oh, there's his. Just check out his latest tweets.
Are these shit sideburns, or are you jealous because you can't grow sideburns?
Mate, I'd rather have no sideburns than look like two shit stains on the side of your face.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, do you know, like all the shit that accumulates around the plug hole?
Mhm.
Like, it looks like he's just launched a massive wad of that out and just like on the side of his face.
Did you also know, interesting fun gaming fact here, Phil's Fish and Chips takeaway menu in Nottinghamshire. View the full menu from Phil's Fish.
Yeah, we did know that because we were saying we'd like Phil Fish a hell of a lot more if
he
he
had a
actually
fish
did
shop.
just open a fish shop.
Yeah, that's good.
Wow.
It's a shitty video.
Does anyone have any gaming news?
I do,
kind of feel
actually.
like I'm talking beside you.
Have you heard that the former Witcher 3 developers have made another new studio called Wicker Man Games?
Again.
So there's two new studios coming out of CD Projekt Red.
So have they just
We have
split in half?
studio left.
So CD Projekt Red, and then some of them split off to make, I can't remember what it was called. I mentioned it in our
Yeah,
first
I
podcast.
know. Yeah.
And then some more have split off to make this one. So I'm guessing there's no fuckers left at CD Projekt Red because the lying bastards who don't give you free things.
Right, I see.
Are you saying that your letter to them split them? Down the middle?
It's all due to my letter.
I
Oh,
can't
well
work.
done.
I can't work for you, you duplicitous taint, and then left.
I don't know why this is
Have
relevant.
you read that Michael Cooper's impassioned letter? You're not going to do anything about it. I can't work here.
Let's make our own games.
That's exactly
Hang
how
on,
it went.
I found a fairly recent article here. And our friend,
You're still on Phil Fish.
yeah. Phil Fish, Jacques Paul Philippe Poisson, is a shitty video game designer and literal criminal who received immense praise following his creation of a Super Paper Mario ripoff called Fez. A filthy hipster, Fish is widely reviled on the internet mostly because he's a douche and a drama whore. He's also French Canadian, which goes a long way towards explaining why he's such a stuck-up narcissistic twat. He can't sustain his ego since he must be respected by everyone, so don't you dare try to criticise Fez or Phil and his white knights will harass you and your family. Sometimes when Phil goes up against people with an intellect higher than a wet pixel, he usually makes an ass out of himself and goes into a rage fit, such as his latest one where he quit gaming career and closed his company down. So let's check that.
That was after fucking... That was ages ago. That was when
Yeah.
Fez 2 was in development, and then people
He
were
said,
going, Fez is shit.
You don't deserve Fez
And he was like, you don't deserve Fez.
No one deserved Fez.
They should use Guantanamo for prisoners. It's so shit.
Fez is like the bad aids of gaming. And in the same way that you can only catch it once, you can only play it once.
This is just a very, very descriptive article about
Why
Defi-
such a dickhead?
Do you know defining the term butthurt? And then later down it goes to give other variations on that with trolling with butthurt. Trolling with butthurt incorrectly. That's nice that they can pan that out for you. Banning of butthurt. Yeah, it's just this. I don't think this. It's just this site doesn't like the guy very much.
So, how do people feel about handheld gaming? Not like mobile, but we're talking like PS Vita.
I have a Vita.
I had one. I like it. I've struggled with it because I'm partially sighted.
Yeah.
Other than that, if I wasn't, like, because I'm 39 now, when you get your mileage, your retina's hardened, and like focusing on handhelds is virtually impossible for me now.
Right.
When I was younger, I could play them. I loved them. I thought they were fucking great. Very underutilised aspect of the gaming industry. When I was a little kid, I used to have handheld devices all the time.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went, they were mint.
Can you remember the Nintendo ones where it was a dual screen?
Yeah.
It was only the one game you would play over and over. It was like Donkey Kong and that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I still got one in the house. I just need some batteries for it.
I used to like my original. Can you remember like the green screened Game Boys?
Yeah, I've still got mine. It's got,
They were awesome.
it's got The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening in mine.
And I had my favourite one that I got the most use and most enjoyment out of was there was two. One when I was little, it was an LED game of Scramble, and that was awesome. And I played it to death. And I had my favourite one though was I loved me. I wasn't a kid, I suppose, teenager, late teens. My Game Gear.
Yeah.
Game Gear was good. The Atari Lynx was awesome as
The
well.
Lynx was fantastic.
I
I
had
had a Lynx as
an
well.
original Game Boy. I had a
Same.
Game Boy Advance.
Same.
I've had a DS. I had a Pocket Neo Geo, which I fucking loved, but you didn't really get many games up here for it. I had to go to like, this is when like retro game shops used to still be a fucking thing.
There still is one insane, but apparently he's selling off all his gear because he's sick of his life.
But like how this ties into what I was going to say is apparently, because I mean Nintendo has always kind of had the market corner when it comes to like handheld gaming.
I wouldn't care, but of all the ones mentioned, the DS has never appealed to me like
But apparently Sony has gone on record as saying that they have no plans to continue developing handhelds after the Vita because mobile gaming is too prevalent and they think no one will buy them.
They're probably right.
And that's a shame.
It is a shame because I do love a good handheld.
Can you remember when we were kids and did you have it was like a TV set, but tiny, with a little joystick on it and it was Space Invaders.
Yes.
And then you had one with Pitfall on
Yes,
as well.
yes, I had the Pitfall one.
I
course
bet
you
you did.
Of course I did.
Everybody needs a Pitfall game.
Mate, do you know what I've still got now?
David Crane in your basement.
AIDS.
I've got Pitfall.
Gonorrhea.
I've got it here now as we speak. I've got one of those little handheld...
Do you force David Crane to play it?
You know, sometimes I do. I wheel them out of the cupboard at night. I've got like a little Atari built into a joystick. It's built into an Atari joystick, and you just plug it into your TV, and you're away to your whole Atari just in the joystick. It's mint.
Yeah.
And in that is Pitfall. Yes, I still have Pitfall. Of course, I've got Pitfall.
And that's got ET on it as well, hasn't it?
I mean,
Yes, it has.
that's the thing now in terms of like I've still got me DS in the house, but in terms of like handhelds and stuff, like I've been using emulators for ages, but like I think the issue for me, the reason I never like invested in like a PSP or a PS Vita was that they're pretty expensive
Yeah.
for what they are. Not to say that they aren't worth it, just outside of my budget. But I think that was maybe the issue.
I think the DS is better in that way because you can get the Cyclone for it, so you get all the games for free.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
But a shame that they're not making them anymore. And like
I've heard-
obviously Xbox doesn't have any stake in that anyway.
Nintendo will probably still continue with them.
Well, I've heard Commodore not re-releasing, but making PC, a gaming PC, but it's going to have.
Are they really?
Yep, they're going to have an emulator built in with every Commodore game ever made on it. Amiga, Commodore 64, VIC 20, Commodore 16.
This sounds like a piece of genius.
That's what I thought as well. But can you imagine how much that's going to be?
Can you remember how lame the Spectrum versus Commodore episode was?
Yes.
Have you heard that one yet?
I have. I'm
Where the guy who
You're not up to date, you never heard weeks.
That's what I mean. I'm gonna get minus 8.
Full of lies.
the guy who was here, Mark, who came to fight the corner of Spectrum, basically laid out my argument for me and then agreed with it.
Yeah.
So that was that. Everything about it was better. The sound was better.
I bought a shit machine so I could get into coding, so yes, I guess the Commodore was a better machine. Never mind I've been Mark.
Would anybody like some Iron Brew?
I'm alright, I've still got a bit of Lakers.
Yeah, so that episode didn't go to plan at all.
Have you heard about the UN's report on cyber violence?
No.
No.
Okay, so there's a game developer being mentioned on Twitter, and he's been trying to get it changed because it's from it's something like it was wrote in the 80s or some shit. But basically, where is it? It says Dungeons and Dragons is satanic.
Good.
Pokemon is a killing game.
Good.
And anybody who plays an FPS is obviously going to go out and commit murder.
Isn't this just crazy Christian dogma bullshit though again?
Sounds like it.
Bible Belt hysteria.
When he mentions satanic as a reason for a game not being good, is probably in the Bible Belt somewhere.
D&D is awesome though.
Did I ever play it?
You've never played D&D?
No. People keep making characters for me, but never playing it with me.
You need to sort it out, dude. Get on. D&D is awesome.
You killed shit in every game, or even Sonic the fucking Hedgehog, you killing
Yeah.
things. You know, it's fucking stupid.
And like this is the thing in Pokemon, they make a big deal of saying that like nothing ever like dies anyway. It just faints.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So you're not really killing things.
Right, I need to mention this because I did mention it in a message on the Grumpy Gamers Facebook page, right? But I don't think I really talked about it on here. It's called the hypodermic needle model, right? This is what fucks me up about all of these studies. I did my quotation fingers there because this is an audio podcast. But listen to this. The hypodermic needle model, also known as the hypodermic syringe model, transmission belt model, or magic bullet theory, is a model of communication suggesting that an intended message is directly received and wholly accepted by the receiver. The model is rooted in 1930s behaviourism and is largely considered obsolete today.
Hooray!
Right, hang on, yada 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 yada. Scholars, blah blah blah, books, blah blah blah. The bullet theory based empirical
I
findings.
understood
Blah, blah,
every
blah,
bit
blah,
of
blah.
that.
I'm just finding the important bits.
I like how it's like I didn't really go into any detail about this on the Facebook page, so I will now.
Right, I'm just reading. Right. It's just I'm reading. It's so long-winded. I'll just explain it in my own words. What it is, right? It doesn't account for something that behaviourists call white noise. And what white noise is any interference in a transmitted message.
Basically everything else.
Yes. So if I say something to you, the white noise immediately in it. If I was to say to you that bottle of Iron Brew is about to shoot flames out the bottom and take off like a rocket, all the things that you're fully aware of, like your understanding of how a plastic bottle is, science, magic doesn't exist, and all these sort of things, right?
Magic doesn't exist.
Right?
You just crushed
your understanding of the world immediately is white noise. So my message that would have gone into you via the hypodermic syringe model is disregarded as not true.
Yeah.
The same as if we watch a film or play a game. Like when I'm playing GTA 5, I don't sit there and think, this game has informed me that to stop somebody going somewhere, I need to place a sticky bomb on his car and detonate it. Do you know what I mean?
Does that mean I can't really kill hookers?
You can kill hookers, that's
Oh,
different.
right, okay.
So if I go to a cabin in the woods somewhere with loads of like lasses who love getting the tits out, I won't get attacked by zombie beavers.
Nor do you need to kill them all.
Right. Well, that changes everything.
But you see what I mean though?
Time to book that
Made a terrible
holiday.
mistake.
Like all of these studies are like immediately starting from a debunked place. They're already starting from a debunked concept.
The problem is though, is like what you're doing is you're crediting the people who subscribe to this kind of argument as having the intelligence to understand that, like to understand the hypodermic model. Do you know what I mean? Like it is debunked, but it's not to them, and they make noise.
Well,
about
I
it
don't credit them
because-
with anything because really what I'm trying to do, I suppose,
Because they're
is
idiots.
basically trying to say to people, you know, it's fucking anybody who has an agenda. Immediately, I'm very fucking doubtful of their information.
Yeah.
Either where the source comes from, whether it's current psychology, whether the study was legitimate, and I already know the answer to all these questions as
Yeah.
I'm reading it normally, and even then I'll still go and fact check afterwards, and lo and behold, this study was funded by the Christian Foundation of Arizona. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of thing. Like,
The first thing for me is I don't even read for stuff that I think's a bit iffy. I don't even read it. I skip right in the end, and I say if there's any links to fucking source materials and peer review and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
And if
yeah.
there's none of that, I don't even bother reading it.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Is it time for any more Dear Liams?
Yeah, let's get a bit of Uncle Liam on the go.
I haven't got any more.
Wow.
I've solved the world's problems.
Excellent.
I think we're done. Hang on. I think we're done. Yeah, it's done.
This is going to be the shortest podcast in history, then.
I've got a few little things left.
Good.
You haven't, man.
I have. Do you not actually have any Dear Liams, or are you just like...
No, I haven't got
Alright. Well, apparently, the video game voice actors union, it's called like SAG after or something, are thinking about going on strike.
For what reason?
For better conditions for the workers.
Peter Dinklage
I was going to say, this
Destiny.
is a Dinklage thing.
It's not a Dinklage thing.
It's voice actors for Dinklage.
I've got a screenshot that
Free
tells
for
us
Dinklage.
Powerful little fists he's got, bless him.
specifically they want it enshrined in contracts that there's better protection and pay for when a role requires physically demanding work such as repeated loud screams, clearer definition between the roles of voice actors and motion capture actors. The former is often expected to do the latter unexpectedly, and performance bonuses should a game sell over 2 million copies. So I was with them up until the last bit, basically.
Yeah.
Because the first bit, yeah, like...
It makes sense.
Exactly, because you're a voice actor. If your voice is fucked, then you're out of work.
Do voice actors in movies in animation, do they get clauses? Is it a normal thing? Somebody have a quick look now online to see if it's a normal thing for them to get a performance bonus after like box office sales or something like that.
Well,
Yeah.
some actors do.
Some do get it.
That would change it, because if it's usual for other parts of like the entertainment industry,
That's
then,
why I'm
yeah.
wanting to check
Because
before.
Keanu Reeves got 50 million off the back end of the Matrix, which he then gave to the special effects.
Yeah,
department.
he using the paid hand.
Classy guy. I wouldn't have done that.
I like sad Keanu on the internet.
Sad Keanu.
What? Run that by me. Why did he pay that money to special effects
I didn't
people?
think they got paid enough.
Yeah, and he thought the film wouldn't have been as good without them, which is true. I suppose.
And generally speaking, for the first one, I entirely agree with them. For the second and third one, I think they went George Lucas on it with the special effects to the point that they weren't special anymore.
Lost it, didn't they?
Yeah. But yeah, voice actors going on strike.
I think the thing about, I don't know, it's always a funny one, like, if we sell over 2 million copies, then I want more money, but it's like, you've been paid for your work already. Why do you want more money?
Maybe if
when
a
no
game,
more work is needed?
maybe if a game goes insanely popular, like Last of Us, you know that. How many's that sold? Shitload.
This is the thing
Maybe
though,
then.
right? It's just greed. Because if a game does that well, that guy is going to be scouted by loads of other people making games for voice work.
Look at Troy Baker. He's
Yeah.
getting so much work since Last of Us.
Look at Nolan North, he's hijacking other people's work. Side Dinklage, Nolan North's on the scene.
Yeah, fuck you, Dinklage.
Just push past you.
Although I say that, I
Oh, is the mic too high, Dinklage?
Sorry, we didn't see you there, Dinklage.
No, it doesn't go any lower than that. We'll find you in Yellow Pages.
So I'll be tagging Peter Dinklage in this one as well.
I'll have a look probably because it's all just bringing up video game stuff. But I've just got this funny feeling that they're doing it because it probably is the norm, you know.
Yeah.
And like you think about it, the video game industry, it grosses more and has done for the last several years than the movie industry now. So
Well,
really,
high paid actors do get a cut of the box office. So
then I
that
think
makes
it's
sense.
totally acceptable. Like I'm all for it.
Apparently, it says like that's their demand.
I also think that Peter Dinklage should have sent a personal check to everybody who bought Destiny.
Yeah.
Right, and they sent us all 500 quid each with an apology and a letter saying I will never phone in my lines again.
Look, I've got the Taken King. I've started playing like the new one from playing Destiny from then
Right.
on.
Before you go any further, and it's going off topic, is it good?
Yes,
I've heard nothing but good things about
Me
it.
too.
like literally the story mode for me still hasn't. And normally with the other like DLC they've had, about you get like 5 missions, 2 strikes, and that's
Yeah.
the new story DLC over. This one keeps going, like it keeps linking you to more quests to do more stories.
See, that's
and
the
when you
thing,
do that,
like-
it unlocks more strikes, unlocks more.
The thing I read was like the first like part of the story arc, so I don't know how many chapters there is
Is
to
it
the
not
next
that the
bit.
Taken King is actually a lot of the stuff that Activision initially must have hacked out of the original game?
It could be. I mean, from what I've played, and it's fucking difficult. Like it's much more difficult than the past 2 expansions have been. I cakewalk the other 2 JLCs, and this one just seems to be like pushing against us. But they've done everything in a good way. Like the rejig to light level is much
Yeah.
better. Like that's miles better. And I know you mentioned on the podcast before, like you lose all your levels, but you don't. You just start. Your level starts from whatever your equivalent light level was. So my level was 34. Right. You start from level 34, and your light levels added on top.
Right. That's a cool thing. Like.
Light level's just kind of like a gear check, basically. It's like a gear score. Light level's a gear score. It's how you get into like higher level strikes. Light level 250 required. Yeah, that's how you get into more strikes. So I think you're taking like.
That's better.
They've just taken a leaf out of Blizzard's book.
More or less.
Mostly because they're sharing tasty Activision dollars, probably. But
Yay.
no, but the only thing that's annoyed is it's not annoying. It's going to happen with like a new DLC and a new level cap. But your old weapons get obsolete so quickly. My legendaries I've already had to just break them up. They're gone. The only bonus is that when you like, if you own a legendary and then you then like
wipe it.
Yeah, wipe it. There's a wall inside the Vanguard office now, and you go to that wall, and it has like this, like blueprints for all the legendaries. And if you have 150 Vanguard marks, you can make that legendary at the current level.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You can also do it for previous level if you're that way inclined. So
basically, like you shard them because they're useless, but you could remake them later on when
you're higher level
for 150. Yeah, they'll go straight. They'll start off straight from 280 attack power, which is the new high level.
That's sounding good to me, so much so that I'm thinking about buying the game.
It sounds loads better.
It is miles better.
Apparently, I've been reading. There's a couple of things.
Everybody I've spoken to has said it's better. Yeah. I've got a copy. I've got the disc again there.
I've still got my disc.
I need to buy the DLC.
If you play alone, though, some of the new quests are not impossible, but
solid.
It's like, for instance, like they're really pushing the whole world event thing going on. So like, you'll just be wandering around Venus or something, and then all of a sudden all these Taken will appear, and you've got to kill their lieutenants, and then like an elite will show up, and then you have to defeat the elite to like progress with your quests.
Right. And that's difficult.
But the other day on Venus, there was only me there, and I was like, "Hello there," trying to shoot this elite, and then some level 7 rocked up, and then just totally fucking ruined everything. And then I got blown up because the Taken are so hard. It was like the Taken are just basically like
Fallen Plus.
Well, no, they're not even fallen. They take. Basically, the way the Taken King works is he steals other people's units, so it's all the previous races under the Taken, but they've all been slightly altered. So, for instance, like, you know,
that's really cool.
So, you know, before the Scions would just be weak as piss, run up to you, and then like do that blast attack and fuck off. Now all they do is they run into cover and they duplicate and they duplicate and they duplicate and they do that all the time. So you eventually against like an army of Scions.
That's awesome.
And
that sounds really good.
The Phalanxes now always keep their shields down, and they raise them to do a knock-off attack, so they'll knock you off cliffs. So they try and like corner you up, and then they blast you off and stuff like that.
So basically, you can't just fucking switch off.
And I'm going to buy the DLC.
They've rejigged everyone. Hobgoblins a nightmare, because when you kill them, they blow up into projectiles that home on you and chase you. Cabal lieutenants do the same. They've got a bomb that knows where the terrain is, and it follows around the terrain till it reaches you.
That actually sounds like it's going to be one of those games where really good teamwork.
Yeah, you constantly think all the
Jason
time.
Is like Jason is like Destiny guru. He loves it, and he knows all the raids and all of that stuff. He's mint at them, and he's even said that the latest raid is like tactics within tactics within tactics.
I haven't done the raid yet. I'm not high enough.
This is the thing. Do you know when Vanilla Destiny released, and they were like Bungie, like, oh yeah, our focus group or whatever, it took them 16 hours to do the Vault of Glass, and then when it went live, the first people did it in like 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
The thing that came back when they first completed the new raid, it was like 7 hours, and that was for a team that had already been playing like the rest of the game together, so they all knew and were like they were used to playing with each other, and it took them 7 hours.
But they've rejigged every quest from the start, so now there's a more natural quest progression that you get more of the story as you level up the character.
Yeah, and this is the thing, it's not just snippets of Ghost now, is it? Like the story's much more like intuitive.
Like all the other Vanguard leaders now have like a part in the story. Like,
so they chip in, don't they? It's
the main quest's mostly Cade 9, the Hunter Vanguard. He like leads you through all the quest missions.
Apparently he's a fucking badass as well, from what I've read.
He is, and he's hilarious, and he just takes they just take the piss out of Eris Morn all the time. Because like there's one part where
who does Nathan Fillion voice?
I think it's Cade 6. Yeah.
But you know what's the leader of the Titan Vanguards? He's like the kind of head vanguard. I can't remember his name. Zalvala? Something like that.
I don't know. I know who you mean.
He's like running one of the operations, and then like, because obviously you're on like a kind of hive, Taken's kind of like hive, because you're on a hive ship, like Eris Mon's going like, the whispers, they grow louder, and he goes, thanks for your input, Eris. And then like, keep cracking on.
Get in.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, one of the things I was reading
really
this morning is like, there's a certain strike that's going at the minute, And it's if you meet certain prerequisites that are apparently reasonably hard to do, right? It's only on the weekly heroic. If you meet these certain prerequisites while doing this strike, there's a door opens like on one of the corridors towards the end of the strike, and if you go in there, then there's like a gauntlet style thing, and if you overcome it within like it sets a timer away, and if you do it within 10 minutes, you get like an exotic sniper rifle, just like this hidden little extra bit
That's really cool.
in a strike, but only if you meet certain criteria that like I'm not sure if people know what it is yet, but you get like an exotic sniper rifle, and apparently it's like the year 2 version of like one of the ones from the like apparently it's called like the Black Spindle, and it's like a copy of like the Black Hammer from like one of the year 1 stuff, but obviously upgraded and that. And but apparently it was like people been saying it's fucking solid, but I just really like that as an idea, where it's like it's not even like specifically stated that that's there. It's just like people have just come across it by accident, and it's only because they've met these really specific criteria that it's even there. Do you know what I mean?
Well, spoiler alert. The Dreadnought, which is the ship that the Taken King uses, like once you've done all the main missions quest, that becomes like a patrollable area just outside Saturn, so it's like a new area zone, but it's just full of fucking like little boss fights that just appear every now and again and stuff like that, like endless amounts of like it's like a loot zone really.
Big question here though, you're saying outside of Saturn, does that mean you've got other planets as well, like beyond like Mars and stuff?
A lot of the other quests have just like gone back on the other planets, like the Taken ship is just on the rings outside Saturn, so that's a new area there. But apart from that, there's no other. But the problem is when you log on. Not the problem. I don't know why I said that. When you log on now and you go to like the main map screen, the bottom left specifies Milky Way cluster. So I'm assuming they're going to add more clusters eventually because they specify that it's that galaxy and then like all the planets on the outside of it.
That's cool.
Which would make sense given that like they said it's going to be a 10-year franchise. But
they
obviously
debunked that in a recent interview. They said they've got a 10-year partnership with Activision, but it's not necessarily Destiny-centric.
Right.
Just they've got a 10-year contract with Activision to make games with them.
So they'll be doing Destiny 2 soon. Probably some other stuff.
That's still though, it's cool.
No, it is.
I'll probably pick
it's
it
really
up.
good.
I've been saying I'm probably going to pick it up, but like the more and more I read about it, the more I think, you know what, I miss playing Destiny. And
Not
it's,
good,
and it's
because
not shit
I
now.
need someone to do these friggin' real-world events because they're doing me tits in if no one else is running about.
Are you on PlayStation or Xbox?
I am on PlayStation.
Good man.
Prop gamer.
It's a nice
Sorry, Phil Spencer.
You're a good guy and everything.
I want to say, have you know The Division?
I'm aware of it.
Yes. You might ask, because for some reason you've got this mad fetish
Just
about watches.
before you continue, you know when you said that, you know my brain jumped straight to the Fast Show. Sorry, not the Fast Show. You know which one I mean.
No.
With the two academics where they're like, you know that box over there.
History Today with Robert Newman and David Hill.
Yeah.
That's your hi-fi, that is.
That's your house. That is.
You turn it upside down. It says
know that.
woo.
You know that division. That's what it's.
You know that division. Because you've got this mad fetish about watches. You subscribe to that army watch
I do like
thing.
watches. Yeah, it's true.
So the special edition of the Division, you get an actual replica of the watch. It's a fully functional watch which glows like
glows in the dark.
Yeah, like the in-game one does. So the whole screen glows. You get an agent armband, so you can hide shit.
Yes.
How much is this?
It's £120.
Cheap at twice the price.
It's alright for a watch, actually.
Cheap at
That's
twice
a bit
the
of
price.
plastic.
And you also get a high quality art book. I know there's been some shit lately about people complaining about
I
art
want to
books.
mention that. I fucking love art books.
So do I. That's why I bought the Child of Light special
Surely
edition.
have to be a high quality art book, otherwise you're saying your art team's shit.
This is what the Bens did.
A distinctly run-of-the-mill art book.
Oh yeah, it's not even concept sketches, it's just the clutter we found in the bottom of the drawer.
But you also get the season pass in it as well. So, and some other in-game shit. And some... But a watch, Andy, a watch.
When's that out?
March.
Next year?
Yeah.
That's been
You
getting
are
built up for a long time.
Damn right, I'm going to pre-order that, like...
I nearly pre-ordered it the other day in my catalogue. I was like,
I've got something else you'll enjoy.
What?
it's all go for you today, innit?
Yeah.
Watches.
Just similar to the Destiny thing about like, there's been an Easter egg found in GTA 5,
Right.
right, that no one's found up until now because the criteria for meeting it are like ridiculous. So anyway, apparently you can play as Bigfoot.
Really?
Yeah. So the way it works is, do you know how you've got to find like them peyotes or something, like the flowers, right? You've got to collect all of them.
Peyote.
Peyote, right? And then there's a golden one at a certain like very specific coordinates, right? That you've got to get. And you also need to, there's a mission where like you've got to help that guy like hunt the Sasquatch or something.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, if you've got to have spared him, right? You've got to have spared the Sasquatch. And then if you've met all these criteria and it's between a certain time in game and it's foggy, right? At these coordinates, Bigfoot will appear, and if you find him, then you get to control him. But you can jump out at any time. It basically works. The game plays it as if it's like a hallucination, so you get to rock about as Bigfoot until you choose not to.
So
but it's only just being found now after years of the game being out because like conditions for triggering it are like fucking ridiculous.
So could you be Bigfoot and go and kill hookers?
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That's class.
So you can still do everything you could normally, like use your weapons and that, but apparently you can't go into first person. But other than that, it's exactly the same. But that makes sense really if you think about it, because that means it's been in the game since before the first person bit was added. So that'll be why you can't.
Still cool though.
Yeah.
I love like little Easter eggs like that in the game. Have you seen the Mad Max one?
Which one's
There's
that?
an Easter egg in the Mad Max game. There's a crate with a crowbar on it. And it just says, it's got 3 spray painted on it in red, and then you've got Gordon Freeman's corpse next to it.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
Do you know what it is? The game, or like the series, that like for me, that I love how much fucking like pop culture references the crowbar in. It's fucking Borderlands. The Borderlands series, it's fucking everywhere. Borderlands 2 is excellent for it. Like finding daft little Easter eggs. Like I remember finding the Dark Souls one and being like, yes, this is fucking awesome. Now I tried to kill Solaire and it didn't work.
I'm loving Borderlands. I'm still on that pre-sequel.
There's so much in it though, isn't there? Like Donkey Kong and shit like that. It's fucking awesome.
There's the Minecraft one, isn't there? Where you've got to kill that giant creeper.
Yeah. There's a few creepers in that. I can't remember the rest of them.
Yeah.
First console or computer then, Liam, what was it? Your first one?
An Amiga.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Favourite Amiga game?
And why was it Ghouls and Goblins?
No, that was Commodore 64, man.
It's everything.
Wasn't it? It was Populous.
Populous is alright.
It's not as good as Cannon Fodder.
No.
It's not as good as Nightbreed, the
It's not as
interactive
good
game.
as
But
Mayhem, and it's not as good as
I think we had
Space Ace.
Nightbreed.
Did you have Mayhem?
I don't know, that was my brother's really.
Did you play Barbarian? That's the question.
Yeah,
we need to know.
if you did, you play. Were you any good at Barbarian? Could you behead with the Web of Death, as well as this? Because the Web of Death was hard to behead with, but you could behead with it. Diagonal down fire. You used to spin your sword diagonally. You know.
These are the questions we need answers to, Liam.
These are important questions.
Aye, but like when the Amiga was still about, I was still shitting me pants. I'm very, very
Last
fun.
week you had your Amiga.
I still found it in the attic and I shat myself in excitement. Never was a boy happier. Like a pig in shit.
So, are you saying as a child you didn't play Barbarian? It's possibly why you wear skinny jeans now.
Possibly. What was that problem?
Right, it was called, I'll remind you, it was called Barbarian. It had in massive red letters at the top of the game screen, Barbarian.
Why not? What was that side scroller?
And you were a guy stood here with a sword, and he was a barbarian.
Golden Axe.
Golden Axe was a side scroller.
Aye, Golden
So
Axe.
was Torvik the Warrior. I don't know if you remember that, but you were a barbarian.
Golden Axe was the one where the in between level bit, them little elves came out with like Santa Claus sacks.
Aye,
And you had to
them.
And you had to
shit
kick
out
them
Aye.
and grab the bottles
Yeah.
to put your magic back up.
I remember that.
And it had that really annoying music when you did it.
I'm Golden Axe.
What about Xenon 2, Mega Blast?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, did you play anything on it?
Sometimes. My first real game and achievement was the Sega Saturn. Like
Good
on
one,
that,
I fucking love that console.
I had Sonic 3 with Sonic and Knuckles. I remember getting Super Sonic on Sonic 3 and then progressing to get Hyper Sonic on Sonic and Knuckles.
When did you realise you were gay?
Sega Saturn was awesome, man.
What?
Sega Rally Championship.
Yes.
You can't poo-poo Sega Rally
I'm only
Championship.
joking.
Really?
To be honest, it's just I've never been a massive fan of
Panzer Dragoon,
Sonic
the first
games,
one.
like,
Yep. Had the demo for that. Demo was about
The demo was the
like
first,
3 discs.
The demo was the first 2 levels, and it was about 3 hours of gameplay or something.
I
It
think
was on the same. It was on that demo disc. It had like Golden Axe 3
Yeah.
on as well, didn't
Yeah.
it?
I think at that time, though, the better console was the Atari Jaguar. That was so much fun, that shit.
Do you know what
With
I
its
read? You know when
500
you
buttons.
talked about that? Because I remember a massive, like 4-page spread article about the whole console in that game featured heavily. Back in the day, used to probably won't remember this because I think you probably will have been toddlers or maybe you will have been born. You'll have just been really young. Can you remember that awesome gaming magazine called Mean Machines?
Yes.
It was fucking brilliant.
No.
You won't. And you used to have on the front, you used to get like a disc, normally full of PS1
Yeah.
demos, wasn't it? And it was fucking awesome.
For me, when I was a band, it was like Games Master and
Yeah.
like Nintendo Power and.
Can you remember when Games
Edge.
Master was a TV show or not?
Yes, it was so good. It
And
was
they had
so
that
good.
Scottish guy hosting it.
Dexter Fletcher.
And what do you call the guy? It was a guy,
Patrick Moore.
Patrick Moore, who did the voice, yeah.
Yeah.
But I used to love that show. And they used to have kids on competing on different games and stuff.
But the best game and TV show ever was Bits
Yeah, it was good.
with Emily Booth. I think we need a like gaming show on TV now. Let's fuck all.
Yeah. Somebody should fund us and we should turn this podcast into a Channel 4 gaming show.
Global.
Yeah.
We'll
Sorry.
offend everybody.
That's right, we'll get one pilot episode and that'll be it.
There was that
Then we'll go to
in
prison.
the Games Master show. They had that bit, didn't they? Where like I don't know, it wasn't like the fucking Black Knight, but it was some dude in fucking black armor, some imposing guy. I can't really remember because I was a kid, and it was kind of like
Are you
Yeah.
thinking a nightmare?
I might
think
be
it
getting
is.
confused.
You're thinking about the game like the RPG where the kid had to wear a hat where he couldn't see and they'd be like forward,
Left.
left.
I might be getting
Yeah.
confused.
I suppose like when he was from the Royal Arms area, so technically he was a crack baby.
No, I was just thinking if we were to make a gaming show, and like obviously I had the wires crossed in my head, but we could do something like that where we could just be like, you're right, you've done the bit where you've got to play through Tekken 3 or whatever. Now you've got to like fucking put some boxing gloves on and not get knocked out.
I think you should maybe just stick with doing intros.
Well, apparently I'm losing me flair for that as well. So you know.
Yeah, yeah. But mate, it doesn't matter. And we can have all these grandiose little plans about TV shows, but what does any of it matter? It's all futile.
Don't.
The world ends tomorrow.
Yep.
You can still dare to dream, Andy.
So
What are you going to do on your last night alive tonight, Hal?
Probably furiously masturbate.
Good choice. Liam, what will you be doing on your very last night on Earth?
Maybe around Hal's house.
Actually knocking on the window this time, be asked to let in instead of just watching.
Gonna break on the window and write messages.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Andy?
I was going to have a nice cup of tea and a trifle.
It's not a party without a trifle.
That's right. Michael?
I'll be drinking some Pepsi and taking a lot of dihydrocodeine.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So what was your favourite console or computer then, Liam?
The-
Of all time, ever?
I was going to say Sega Saturn.
I'm not gonna say the same thing.
It's going to say something really gay, like Nintendo.
Or the
Wii.
Hello Kitty fucking leap pad thing.
He's got to be like, oh, fucking love me Wii. He's look at these skinny jeans, man. He loves the Wii.
He's got a Wii U, hasn't
You've
he?
got a Wii U, haven't
I
you?
haven't got away.
You
You
liar.
play Mario Kart online.
GameCube was the last Nintendo console I owned.
You play tennis with your mum. In the suit. That's how bad you are. Hey mum, would you want a game of tennis? I love one, Liam.
Do you know what like fucking never sat well with me? When the adverts for the Nintendo Wii, when they had like the fucking
Creepy granddad.
like the Wii Sports and stuff, and you'd have that woman in her 50s wearing fucking yoga pants and some sort of fucking like tracksuit top, and it's like, you're in your fucking front room and you're doing this with your arm. You don't need to be wearing fucking sports gear. You're not actually doing the sport. That's the whole point. You don't need to wear the clothes.
He gets really angry about this, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's referenced in...
It's just
in,
irrelevant.
GTA references that in some of the advertising on the radio if you listen to it. It's like, you go to this shop and you buy this and buy that. It's not if you're doing the sport. It's as long as people perceive you are. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I've lost 2
So-
stone since I've started using the Wii Fit. But that's merely just because I've been on my feet standing on my
all
horse.
time then, Liam? Your favourite?
PlayStation 2 probably. So that's something most of my time into when I was growing up.
PS2. Interesting. We've not had that one yet, have we?
I think that's my least favourite console of all
Do you really?
time. Yeah.
I love my PS2.
That was kind of side by side the GameCube for me because I had my GameCube at home when I went with my dad's. He had a PS2.
I had the GameCube with my granddad's.
I loved my PS2. What I hated about the PS2 was the fact that it looked like a shoebox from Clark's.
Yeah.
It was a fucking ugly console, though, wasn't
No,
it?
it wasn't made to be pretty beautiful. Like.
Well, look at the first PS3, man. It looked like a fucking Breville sandwich toast.
Yeah, but that was cool. The first...
Imagine if it did.
The thing is, though, right, them
Sold, man.
big ass early PS3s were the best ones.
I know, mine's
They
still
looked
going.
the best.
I still got to upgrade the memory on it and everything, so I downloaded fucking XCOM and it was free on PS
XCOM.
Plus, and I was like, get involved.
XCOM's awesome. We need XCOM on the PS4. We need an XCOM.
Do you know what it is, right?
Next year, isn't it? It's been delayed.
Yeah, but it's PC only at the moment.
Oh, is it?
They just haven't rolled out a console.
No,
port.
what they normally do though in the past is they've just done it as a PC game and then ported it. So I'm kind of
Yeah, but like that's going to be at least a year after the PC.
and you know I noticed as well when I check on my tablet here, right, it's disappeared from the App Store because to get my XCOM fix, I was going to play it on my tablet. I was
Yeah.
going to join Dirty Mobile Gaming. I was going to become like a pervert.
And because
get
it's
Goats
enemy
anywhere.
within, isn't it? So you could have had all the like DLC shit that you never played on the PS3. That's really cool. Like
Yeah,
the
it's
mechs,
just- it's just not here.
flamethrowers and shit.
That's XCOM Debugger.
That's not it.
I'm kind of like I wouldn't
Board
be
game.
against because I know we've like badmouthed like things getting re-released on the PS4. If they re-released XCOM like Enemy Within on the PS4, I'd get it. I think. Just because it's one of those games that the sheer amount of time you sink into is ridiculous, but
That's the thing, you know, we're bad mouth fucking remasters and shit like that. But if it's something we want, we're like, oh, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. It's
Yeah.
so good.
What's
No,
that?
I don't-
What's
I don't
that?
agree with
I
it.
wasn't listening to the word you
I don't
said.
agree with the practice. But I'd
With what? I wasn't listening.
Remastered XCOM Enemy Within.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm a total hypocrite. I said that when we were on about it earlier. I'm a total fucking hypocrite about it. I really am because somebody. Well, it's not. It's like some of the games I think, good because I never played it or
Last of Us.
I'd play it
and stuff like that.
again. You know what I mean? But some of them. Well, The Last of Us I think it's got an argument because it was such a fucking good game and it came at at the time it was a good argument. The perceived end of the last gen.
Yeah. So a lot of people wouldn't be able to pick it up.
Do you know what I mean? Who knew that the last gen was going to trickle on for another 2 years?
who knew it was going to fucking hang around like keep turning up like a bad penny?
Yeah, but I'm so fucked off that because Jason was like a few months ago, oh, XCOM's on the, I don't know why he's got the Pete Lee good man voice. XCOM, you bloody good man, mate.
He's been looking after his kids. That's why.
He was like, XCOM's on the App Store, you should get it. And he said it was up for like £3 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, get in. I never got around to getting it. And now I deeply regret my actions.
It's probably good because if it's not there, it would have been probably
So now it's not the
removed from
Android
your.
store.
That's where I'm at now.
The Android market.
Yeah, was it not like not on the App Store?
Yeah,
but
like
on,
the Apple Store.
Was it not on the Apple Store?
I'm on Android now.
Like this is the thing. Does
There you go.
Jason have it?
So it's on the App Store.
Yeah, it's
For-
Apple only.
It's iOS.
Yeah, so it's not for you.
That is shit.
So good.
It's
I
not
might
for
just
the
have to get
Android master
Fallout
race.
Shelter then.
I've got an iPad.
Yeah,
Like,
I've
spoiled.
got bored
Spoiled
of
rotten.
Fallout Shelter now.
I'm going to install Fallout Shelter.
It's decent. It'll hold your attention for a while, but it's like
For a day. I'm sure. Never played it.
I played it for
comment.
about a couple of weeks, and then I've just kind of like I got sick of like it's the same as any other game like that where like that's better because it doesn't constantly ask for your attention. But at the same time though, eventually you just stop giving a fuck, and it's like, oh shit, I left my guy out in the wasteland for like 3 days. He's probably dead. Oh fuck him. Do you know what I mean? Like I haven't been on and collected my things.
So
that,
if ever
that
we
guy's
have-
been in the strength room for fucking
If ever
4
we have
days.
if ever we have an apocalypse, right, and I get put in a
Come
shelter
down.
with you, and it's like for some reason you get allocated the job as leader, I'm going to a different shelter.
You'd only die if I had something more important than your safety.
And let's be honest, there's a lot more things more important
Yeah.
than Andy's safety.
That's not very
Is the
nice.
cheese going off? I mean, that's an
It might
important
happen
job.
tomorrow. It might happen. The apocalypse is nigh.
Yeah. Oh, I hope the world turns into like a Mad Max kind of thing.
It'll be fucking. I'd love that.
I'd die now. Can't run in skinny jeans.
No.
I'll be the first to be hunted down.
But this is the
Probably
thing,
great.
what after wear, you'd probably just rip them up the sides and then they'd look like some kind of chaps and you'd
Come on,
probably
fucking
get
skinny
killed.
cut-offs.
And raped.
Skinny
Again.
cut-offs.
Again.
Okay. Literally the
I
second.
can't believe that.
Now you've been done in by the
By
Yeah,
your
by
own,
the
by
apple
your own
juggernaut.
tardiness.
by the Apple juggernaut.
I told you to get an iPad, you were like, no,
I
I'm
don't
not
want
getting
an iPad. Look at you, just because you were a little fucking Apple fanboy. After all your years of Apple is shit. I won't do it. I
It's
won't.
turned-hailed.
I won't. He did.
Nah,
Oh,
I,
man.
I was very anti-Apple and I ended up working for them. And I was like, well, I can fix an iPhone, so I might as well fucking get one. And then I thought, well, might as well get a Mac to go with it. Fuck it, I need
He
an iPad
enjoys,
as
he
well.
enjoys gimmicky flash shit.
Yeah.
That was a funny noise.
It's a
Hal.
big yawn one.
He
I haven't
enjoys,
slept much.
he enjoys gimmicky flash plastic overpriced shite, don't you, mate?
Ah, that's right. But the
Yeah,
Mac's
but you
so
say that,
much
but it
better
is-
for
it is.
Photoshop.
Gimmicky, overpriced, flashy shite that you can get XCOM on.
Doesn't matter.
That's true.
I'd rather spend the money on another PS3 and XCOM again than buy any Apple shite.
Why'd you
can-
get rid of your PS3? It was a
Because,
stupid
do you know
move.
why? It wasn't stupid. I was nice. I was being nice to someone. That's why I
Yeah,
did.
me too. I gave mine to my dad.
Who'd you give yours to?
I initially swapped it to our Barry because he knacked the disk drive on his.
Yes.
So I swapped it and I had one with a knacked drive, and then fuck knows what I did with that. I can't remember.
Because that could still download XCOM because it was free on PS Plus.
Can't remember what I did with it.
You've not got to download within the time frame of like it being free though. Can't
Yeah,
you,
but
like,
if you've got-
retroactively get it.
If you already downloaded it during when it was free,
Oh yeah, that,
then
that
you can
makes sense.
re-download it.
I
So if
don't
it
know
was
if I
his,
did because I already owned it, didn't I? I don't know.
maybe I.
I don't know if I did do that.
The thing is, though, is it wouldn't surprise me if you downloaded it and then deleted it just for that reason, just for
I would. That
posterity.
is the kind of thing I would do.
So yeah. Or if you were like inclined to throw your money down the fucking drain, you could rent it off PS Now because
Oh yeah,
it is on there.
for at least 2 days.
So if you wanted
It
to
would
rent
only
it
cost
for
you
a
about
week,
50
it would
quid.
only cost you £8 British pounds to rent it for a week.
That's like 2
Wow.
coffees.
That's ridiculous.
You couldn't even buy the game for that. Oh wait, no, you could.
You could.
Do you know what? That's gonna fail. If the kid that has to fail.
And that's why they won't put backwards compatibility
I
on the
don't
fucking
understand why you just don't make
PlayStation.
it a subscriber service. Just pay a set amount to
Exactly.
get all the games you want.
PS
I would
Plus should
do
go
that.
up. with
I would
it.
do that.
If PS Plus went up to say 25 quid, no, what is it now? It's what 39? Is it for a year?
$39.99 for a year.
So if it went up to like 45, 50 quid for the year, and you got PS Plus in with it, the PS Now even, I would so do that.
Even if it was a separate subscription thing and it was like say £10 a month,
Well,
and you could download and
while
play
you're trying to be diplomatic
X
and
amount
fair,
of thingy.
my thing is this: they've already had the fucking money out of them games tenfold. They should just put the service up anyway and put it in with our price, because, and they should do it as way of fucking apology, because never has the PlayStation Network been so shit since you started paying for it.
I know.
Yeah, but
Do you know what I
tasty
mean?
Activision dollars.
Prior to that, it was awesome. They've had the money out of them games over and over again over the years. They've had them in initial release, they've had them in Game of the Year editions, they've had them in fucking re-releases, they've had them in electronic downloads. Do you know what I mean? They've had the money out of them games. Some of them games are that old, right? They need to just stop being fucking dicks and say, here, we'll throw these in. Because the free monthly games are shite. And I noticed the voting thing didn't last very long.
Yeah.
A month.
I suppose it's all irrelevant now that it's the end of the world anyway.
Good point.
That's maybe why they just took the voting thing away. Like, why should we vote? Because people's votes are going to go in. We won't even get to put the game up on the store because the world won't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So I can kind of understand them not bothering this month.
It's like we could make the service stable, but what's the point? There's going to be a blood moon coming, so you know.
I'm all prepared for me. I'll give all my stuff away. I'll give my house away. I'll give my car away. When I get back home, well, anyway, who needs it at the end of the world, you know?
Would anyone like to nip upstairs and fuck my girlfriend?
I noticed your dog ran off there.
Aye. Good boy.
With it being the end of the world, do I still have to make you a cup of tea?
Yes, it's your turn actually.
No, I mean like in the rules.
Oh, the rules, yeah.
Alright. Well,
Yeah.
even if it's the end of the world?
Mate, it's tradition. It's
All
just it's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Don't think Liam's aware of the rules.
Right. If you're going to have sex with my girlfriend, Liam,
I've heard this rule. You're going to make a cup of tea first.
Yeah.
Simple rules. One, I'd like a cup of tea brought to me. None of this, Andy, your cup of tea's ready, it's on the bench, that's just rude. You bring it to me, I'll be on
It's
your
not
PlayStation,
gentlemanly, is it?
right? You go upstairs, you do what you got to do. Any wet patches go on her side of the bed, and I expect my bed to be remade, and I expect you to leave when it's bedtime for me, so that I'm not like trying to struggle my way into my own bed. If you can stick to those simple rules, we'll not have a problem. And just say hello and ta-ra when you leave, just don't be rude.
And vice versa.
Oh, God. I suppose it's a very civilised manner of doing things. This could work in the apocalypse.
I mean, it's just, everyone's happy. She gets what she wants, you get what you want. I get uninterrupted time on the PlayStation.
And
As
the
long as there's like a thorough good supply of tea in the apocalypse, like they haven't just all burnt out.
How can we repopulate the after the apocalypse? Oh, we can do it this way. Oh, there's no tea. Never mind.
To be honest though, it might be actually plenty of tea, because I doubt many shop raiders will be raiding the PG tips.
I would.
I know you would, exactly what we
Yeah,
would.
most people are thinking like bottled water and fucking tins. We're all about the tea bags.
Plus by putting boiling water into things, it's
And
more
Jaffa
sterilised,
cakes.
we'd live
Tea
longer.
bags and Jaffas. We could build an empire. Because everyone goes for the fucking water and stuff. But it's about
Water,
having some.
schmorter.
It's about having like a demand for something. So they've got all their tins of beans, but they've got no fucking Jaffa cakes and they've got no tea bags. And if they want them, they best bring fucking tins of food.
No, I'll be going straight for the chocolate, so it's all good. And
Like, they'll
pies.
survive, but they'll live a very miserable life.
Yeah,
That's it. Where we'll be
Maybe full of fucking cavities and PG tips.
yeah, but there'll be no dentists around either.
Yeah,
so
but
your
do
teeth
you
will
know-
fall out, and you okay? You eat all
Just
the
dip them
Jaffa
in your
cakes you
tea and
want.
mush
then.
it up.
Yeah. And do you know what we'll never suffer from? Carb rage. Never have carb withdrawal. There's a chip shop just over there.
And we won't have to fucking like find a sharp rock to bash tins off to eat. We can just open a packet of Jaffas.
Exactly.
Got all these tins in the fucking tin
Wake up to
opener.
apocalypse. Just
That's the thing as well, people with
plate.
tins, right, if they cut themselves in the apocalypse, they're going to die of an infection.
Definitely.
Are you going to cut yourself on a box of Jaffa cakes?
I'd
Only
say,
if you're very unlucky.
I was going to say that the chance exists, but it's probably very small.
Negligible, I fail. If you die that way in the apocalypse, you probably didn't deserve
And
to
you
live
probably
in it.
didn't know this, but Jaffas are actually antibacterial as well, so you could just smush one in and you'd be fine.
Like a delicious dock leaf.
Yeah, it's the dock leaves of fucking biscuits.
Right, and on that note, I have no more gaming news.
Me either.
He's been Peter Sutcliffe. I've been Richard Ramirez.
I've been Ian Brady.
No, you were Myra Hindley.
I
I've
was
changed.
Ian Brady.
I've changed.
You can't Liam's
Well,
It's
you're
the end of the world.
Are you
I'm
like
doing what I
Caitlyn
want.
Jenner? Is that what's happening here?
Yeah.
Liam's Ian Brady, you're Myra
Fine,
Hindley.
I'm Myra Hindley, signing off for the last time.
Night kids.